Greetings, beautiful beings. Welcome to the Power Divination for the week of Monday, December 2nd, 2019 through Sunday, December 8th, 2019. I am Ahomna and I am the founder of Destiny Mapping, and we are in this new energy of the Power Divination, which will bring you every week on Monday the weekly energy report using Sidereal Astrology, human design, and the gene keys. So let's get started and screen share so that you can be interactive and seeing this real time, how the cosmic energies are going to be influencing us at a collective level. So let's share and let's begin with our weekly sidereal energy reports. So you're going to see the wheel here. You're going to see some green planets on the outside. This is the transits happening on Sunday. So we kind of see today, Monday, the energy on the inner sphere, and then where the planets are going to be moving to by Sunday. We have a couple of important things happening in our sidereal astrology this week. One, let's talk about the first thing going on. We have the sun in Scorpio still at the 15th degree of Scorpio. We are moving into the time where Scorpio emerges from the underworld and is reborn as the eagle rises and flies to contemplate the higher worlds of consciousness. And many people hold this darkness around Scorpio as they don't really fully understand and are better yet afraid of what Scorpio is and represents, which is the duality of darkness and light. Only it surpasses that, as there is a third aspect that emerges at the waking end of Scorpio, which we will move into in the next coming week to speak about. That being said, for just a little bit of story behind Scorpio, in the first several degrees of Scorpio, we actually have the totem of the Scorpio. The Scorpio is the energy that goes into the underworld, that goes into the darkness, that faces off with death and things that are occult and mysterious. And as it goes into that darkness, that's where we really get that fear of Scorpio, because it brings up the depth within us. It brings up the shadows. It brings up the darkness. That being said, when we keep moving through Scorpio, we go into that underworld, and then as we make it our way into the middle of Scorpio, what happens is a death. The Scorpio dies and is reborn as the eagle. And the next phase of Scorpio, which is what we're entering into right now collectively, is when the eagle flies high. And the eagle is seen as this totem of consciousness because it flies higher than any other bird in the sky, and therefore it sees the greater picture. So Scorpio rises into the eagle. And then there's a third aspect that happens that I will save until next week as we move into that energy. That being said, this energy within Scorpio is about to rise. It's about now facing that darkness and recognizing that there are angels and divine beings within this world, that we get to see who we are in all of it, seeing the many different lives that we are now living simultaneously within this one. So within this energy, secrets that have been hidden, purposes, inward streams, they have the chance to be revealed. Now through meditation, prayer, and extraordinary discipline, a steadfast focus to be with the Creator, with Source, as the central focus. This is the energy that allows for that eagle to rise, and redemption completely dissolves, and light is returned for us all. So it's a transformational point where a death takes place, which brings about certain challenges and certain dynamics of energies with that. If we can release our sense of self, if we can let go of the attachment to our identity through that death, we will awaken to this greater level of consciousness that we will intimately speak about in our human design. That being said, let's talk about a couple of more significant things that are happening in the zodiac this week. One is going on, well, both of them actually consider this Venus South Node conjunct holding hands at 13 degrees as of today. So today it is direct smack dab on alignment, 13 degrees, Venus in the South Node, in the 12th house of Sagittarius. So two things are happening with this energy. The first is that the feminine timelines are being cleared. A surge to purify the death of the feminine aspect of creation that has taken place over the last several centuries. Having this be conjunct, see, up here with Mars, that is creating an energy of influencing this dynamic. In the 10th house, the very masculine part of the zodiac, this is really bringing to head right now within us all, within the collective, the imbalances and inequality that has existed between the feminine and masculine principles of creation. And with this placement being at the 13th degree of Sagittarius, memories of lifetimes might begin to start to surge, might begin to start to remember. Memories of lifetimes where the inequality has existed. As these memories start to be released, because this is what happens at that 13th degree of Sagittarius, memories start to surge from other lifetimes where we have died for injustices and things of that nature. So these memories might begin to rise to help us to clear and release and forgive and heal the inequalities and the, shoving aside of the feminine principle of creation. Now, when I say feminine principle of creation, I am not talking about women in women bodies, right? It's not about gender. It's about energetic principles of creation, the yin and the yang. Yes, that does then manifest into genders. That being said, it is not only solely identified within the women or the female gender. The female aspect of creation is within all beings. All of creation holds this energy within it. So at this time, the South Node represents other lifetimes. Some might call it past. That being said, time is not linear. So the way that I look at the South Node is looking at lifetimes, timelines that are most vibrationally in resonance with this time now, which means the information from those timelines is more able to be translated into this time, which means we're more influenced by those timelines than other timelines that are so vibrationally different. The vibrations could never come together and exchange information. So we're really looking at the lifetimes that are most influencing our current collective reality. So with that being said, these memories might start to surge as we are bringing them up to release them, to heal them, to forgive, so that we can really finally collectively shift and bring in a balanced harmonic between the feminine and masculine creative forces. As you'll see, 13 degrees in Libra, the Mars energy is at Libra, the space of balance, the space of harmony, the space of bringing a balancing of the scales, restoring equality so that we can bring back beauty into the world. And you'll see this is almost right on top of the midheaven, meaning this is our work right now to restore balance. And we are doing that through releasing the memories, forgiving the lifetimes, including this one now, where it has been the truth that the feminine aspect of creation has been pushed aside. The second energy that is emerging through this alignment, through this Venus South Node energy happening in the 12th house, which is the depth of spirit, is the depth of truth in Sagittarius at the very placement where we remember. Within the energy of Venus, you may have heard of the 144,000. That is the 144,000 souls who came with Sanat Kumara and the Lords of the Flame to Earth from Venus. So these 144,000 souls that came here to support the shift in consciousness and the healing and evolution of Earth, so that Earth can continue her ascension to a luminary body. That Venus is already a luminary body. So these 144,000 souls came to the Earth from Venus. And with this conjunction happening right now, the memories, the countless memories, these beings, these souls are coming online, right? They're waking up to the essence and energy of who they are and where they come from. And this coming online might bring these beings to go through countless memories of death here on Earth since the journey from Venus first began. And how all these deaths and all this suffering and all of the pain has influenced their coding and turned off their coding, their 144,000, the essence of what that is, which are these miracles, we'll call it, this miracle energy that was being infused to the planet through these souls incarnating here for many, many lifetimes. So this encoding, this memory is coming back on right now, is being turned back on right now. With the opposition of the South Node and the North Node, this North Node in the 6th house, now as this coding comes online, it is literally happening in a genetic standpoint, and it might arise as a physiological or mental symptoms of feeling disembodied physically, mentally. It might come up in very physically challenging ways as this coding starts to, rumble from within and shake up from within truth. What I will be wise to share with you in this moment is that this dynamic is happening so close to the ascendant, and it's going to continue to move into the ascendant, the space in the zodiac where personality is held. So with this dynamic happening so close to the ascendant, we must be wise to not get caught up in the I'm one of the 144,000. Because with that thought alone, chances are that you're not actually a part of that energy. And now it's very important to say that 144,000 souls is not 144,000 people, because each soul has fractals of 144 essences that go and manifest into form. So 144,000 souls has millions of people that are within that coding. And it's an energetic frequency that is available to everyone, right? Because each of those 144,000 souls are a part of an oversoul, are a part of larger soul groups that continue to spread out throughout the entire fractal of human existence. So being wise to not get caught up in the, oh, I'm one of the 144,000, which means I am so far advanced and yada, 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 right? How the ego, the spiritual ego, can grasp these things and take them and take ownership over them, which actually means in those moments that you are very far away from the true frequency of what the 144,000 essence, energy, and encodement means for the planet. It's not for the ego to decide, or it is also not something that needs to be known. It's simply a recognition of this divine essence, this miracle energy being reawakened in our coding. And to be aware that this might be creating physiological shifts in our bodies right now. That being said, if you are going through physiological changes in your body, ensuring that you're not brushing aside those changes as any ascension or a part of this 144,000 coding, because those physiological symptoms that are coming online are revealing blocks in the physical temple to actually holding and anchoring the coding of the 144,000. So with all of that being said, let's shift gears and look to the human design and the gene keys to continue raveling and going deeper into the energy of this week. Okay, so here we are, Monday, Incarnation Cross, left angle cross of identification. We have Monday through Sunday up on the screen. And remember, as we're looking at the human design, we are also looking at this from the perspective of the gene keys as we are looking at our genes. So we'll be weaving in and out of different concepts and topics that support us in really seeing the overarching theme of the energy movement this week. So today, Monday, and Tuesday, we are working with the energy of the cross of identification, and we are in generator energy, which is the energy of building, of creating. We started working with this energy last week of really getting clear on your individual needs and how those are being met to begin making a plan last weekend, so the last couple days. And as you're making this plan, this energy is still present today and tomorrow, only now you'll be more able to see what was missing and to find clarity in how you will accomplish the many things that you wish to achieve in the next coming year. Be very wise, as this energy can have a shadow tendency of ego gratification and people pleasing in order to appear in certain ways. Even though this is a generator energy, be wise as it is deeply split. So you'll see the crown and the ajna centers are defined, and the roots and sacral are defined, yet there is a wide split happening, a deep split, which means that this energy, the insights, the clarity coming through will not necessarily be able to make it down into the body unless your channels and your unique body graph connect this energy. So definition through the center channels or through the external outside channels that would bring in this energy, which will be the case for many, and for many others, it will not be the case if you are open in this area of your body graph, your unique chart. There can be a pressure to put all of these ideas coming in right now into action right now, right? That's the generator. Let's act, let's build, let's create. And I will be ensured to tell you that right now is not the time for that. It's a time to be patient and to sit with the ideas in a very grounded way before moving ahead. Because if you move forward too quickly right now and begin acting on the ideas without grounding the plans and really feeling into if it's yours to be creating or not, you will likely wind up feeling unfulfilled in the future by the efforts being taken now. This is especially sure for those of you who are manifesting generators who have a tendency to move very quickly. That manifesting generator energy that needs to know right now, and it needs to act right now, and it needs to go right now. Right? So be wise if you are a manifesting generator to really take Monday and Tuesday to slow down and to practice patience. The key here is to listen to your intuitive ability, to see the actual details, or to find someone who can see them for you. Right? If you're not a detail-oriented person, there are people who are, that it's time to go consult and to build a team of people who balance out your weaknesses so that you can all support each other, so that they can help you to see the details, so that you are clear on what is available to you, what this path of saying yes to this creation would be. And so that you can honor your own type and strategy before starting to act. It's very important when we're looking at the collective energy signatures and the collective energy type, that when we are in a generator energy and we are projectors or manifestors or reflectors, that we're still honoring our own unique type and strategy for how we are deciding and how we are acting moving forward. Because the energy comes through and we get this surge and we want to start acting and building. That being said, be sure that you're always following your type and your strategy when we're looking at cosmic energies. Because yes, these energies influence us. That being said, we still have our own harmonic for how we move forward in alignment, which comes down to our unique body graph that gets plugged into this cosmic energy. Wednesday, we move into a cross of consciousness that will be working with us Thursday and Friday. And on Wednesday, we are also moving into projector energy. That being said, we get a break from that projector energy on Thursday when we move into manifestor energy, and Friday we move back into projector energy. So what we are looking at here on Wednesday with this right angle cross of consciousness that is perfectly aligned with this 12th house stellium that we were looking at, all the energy that's happening in the 12th house in Sagittarius in the astrology, where we are going deep collectively right now to discover the deeper meaning of all of this. What was the deeper meaning behind having a sense of self, of ego? And what was the deeper meaning behind why the feminine was for so long shut down? What is the energy happening behind it all? And the important thing here is, can we observe from a bystander perspective as a witness, not involved, just watching it all as it passes, observing the patterns in order to progressively awaken your own consciousness through these experiences, which will progressively awaken the conscious of the whole. On Wednesday, this energy is very inward. It's an inward journey. It's a time to research and to study and to go and learn about what your intuitive findings, that this intuitive curiosity that spontaneously arises from within you. Go and do your little research and read and spend time learning, tapping into different ideas that you might not necessarily hold on to as beliefs in the future, that just are allowing you to stay in this space of wonderment. Because on Thursday, we move into this manifestor energy, because we move into this connection between the solar plexus and the throat that gives us this manifesting channel here. And on Thursday, we're going to go out and start having conversations, start informing people about what you have explored on Wednesday. Start talking to people about it, engaging in conversations that first and foremost are about supporting the growth of consciousness, and not about having battles with people or ego, oh, I need to be right or you need to be wrong, and all those types of dynamics. It's really just about, okay, I'm curious about what I've been tapping into, what has been intuitively arising from within, and now I want to engage people in conversations to see what are they tapping into within all of this. On Friday, we move back into projector energy, still working with this cross of consciousness. And, with this energy back on Friday, we are taking the conversations that we have on Thursday to support us in, being curious and being in the wonder of what's spontaneously arising from within us. And we're taking them back inward to do more research in your own inner world, as this will help to literally ground the force of consciousness into the body to expand your awareness. Be very wise with this cross to not let the mind make any concrete decisions about why all this happened. The why behind the energy that is coming up for us around, the feminine and the 144,000 and, the challenges and compromises and suffering that has been on this earth for a very long time. Be wise to not make any concrete decisions about why all of this happened, and to not take sides, because there is no right or wrong. There is no good or bad reason as to why there was such an imbalance around, this death energy that has been trapping even the most advanced souls within it. We are not a victim to this world. We are participants, willingly agreeing to what is happening now. And this becoming embodied will rapidly and quickly bring you out of the underworld of the Scorpio and into the consciousness of the ego, of the eagle. Now, Monday through Friday, we are looking in the gene keys. The same two genes are unconsciously driving all of this. 64, 63, 64 in the sun, the radiance, 63 in the earth, the purpose. We'll see that Thursday, Wednesday, and even back into Tuesday and Monday today, as we are working with a different cross, we are still in these energies all the way through Friday. On Saturday, we'll shift out of them with the gift of this 64 in the sun, that we are here to be awakening now, and the purpose of this week being within that 63. With 64 unconsciously driving the solar energy, there might be a lot of confusion if you're trying to figure it out mentally. Figuring out why there has been this inequality between men and women, why the feminine was shut down, and this confusion about, all the nitty-gritty details and all the timelines and all the different places in the great story that have, brought us to this moment now. Trying to make sense of it all. We actually shut down the thing that will provide the greatest relief from this constant battle of energy, which is our imagination. As it is with Scorpio, it is through the darkness, through going into the pain and into the suffering of this world, that we begin to rise in consciousness. So too it is through this gene that the great mystery of existence of inner light is found at the Siddhic space of illumination. Confusion happens when we are stuck focusing on thinking, on needing answers, in the mind's way of putting a Band-Aid, right? It's the mind's way of putting a Band-Aid on the pain and not going there. It's like, oh, I'm not going to go there. So I'm just going to keep trying to figure it all out so that I don't have to go there and actually sit with the pain and suffering that has been the result. A key this week is to actually silence the mind through calming practices, and instead awaken and contemplate from a space of imagination through art, dance, writing, singing. Move the energy through your art and not through a need to know. Let the pain of the separation and inequality be released through your creativity, instead of sitting stagnant in the body through needing to know and make sense of it all. This will reveal to those who are willing to show up in this way the real purpose of this week, held within the 63rd gene, and the concern for reaching source. It is the quest for truth. And, it's only not truth that comes from an external answer. It's truth that arises from within, from light. This quest will bring us to face doubt. Doubt at a deep level, where it is a doubt of our connection to source. Doubt in our spiritual heritage. Doubt that there is anything actually benevolent to this universe. Doubt that things will never actually change. Doubt that there is actually no creator source, and that we are not a part of anything bigger than this. Doubt that has stemmed from lifetimes of death, suffering, and pain. The only way out of this doubt is to go into it, go into the underworld, whilst remaining open, staying in it from a space of wondrous spirit, of inquiry, genuinely curious for humanity's sake. Because through seeing these doubts that are within the shadows within us all, we will come to realize that this doubt is living within the species and it is keeping us suffering. The doubt of our connection to source keeps us suffering. The doubt that there is a benevolence in this world keeps us suffering. This truth, realizing this doubt, is the only way that we will free ourselves from this doubt, which awakens truth, which is that humanity is on a deeply spiritual path. This awakens and brings us into the energy shift on Saturday and Sunday as we move into the cross of separation. Saturday, we get a little break from the projector energy and we move back into the sacral energy. Sunday, we're back in projector energy. So Saturday is a great day to build a little, to come out of this, non-energy zone of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday and move your body, get things going. After the deep realizations that emerge the first 5 days of the week, as we are willing to sit in the confusion and the doubt, the pain and the suffering at this time, when truth awakens, it moves us forward into a space where it's time to literally take space, to stand alone, to realize your true value and worth in this world. We take space through the cross of separation so that we can really grow into our gifts. Gene 5 here is our work over the weekend, which is all about cultivating a routine and a pattern for life that helps us to move towards the lifestyle that we are dreaming of, that we have been preparing for the last several weeks. Being very wise about any tendency or feelings of needing to save another, of needing to live for the other, as this is a distraction from finding our own fulfillment and true essence. We cannot fulfill another. They must do this from within themselves. And once this truth is revealed within you, you must take some space to let it integrate, to become wisdom and not simply knowledge. Because this will move us into the deeper purpose of the weekend stored in the 22nd gene. The involution of source. Through having a routine for our body, through taking space to really get into embodiment, we are paving the path, having a routine, having a discipline, having a pattern that opens our body up to the involution of light descending upon us. The 22nd gene is encompassing so many things. It brings us through karma. It brings us through death in the Bardo passage. It brings us through a realization of what is true in this world, through the embodiment of spirit, through letting light penetrate us into the depths of our being, sitting with and holding light. A practice that I can recommend is to bring light all the way down into the depths of your being and see how long you can hold it there before the mind bounces away or gets distracted or something comes up and the fear wants to push the light out, consciousness out. You'll find that likely the light will be able to hold much longer in your head, holding that light in through your crown, then holding that light in your throat, then in your heart, then in your solar plexus, then in your belly, then in your groin, in your pelvic floor, then holding that light all the way into your feet. And just imagining a ball of light held in each of these places and focusing on that light for as long as you can hold it there. In each spot, spending more and more time from our heart down, which is where we might find that light gets pushed out a bit more, where our fears and our karmas and all of our terrestrial muck, our ancestral stories. I want to push that light of truth out. So really spend time holding and anchoring light there. And if you are someone who, is not a visualizing person, light a candle. Let that candle give you the energy of the light that you hold in these different places to bring consciousness, light, all the way down into our feet and then all the way down into the earth. This is the completion of our divination for this week. If you have any questions about the energy, if you want to, have a dialogue about this in any way, reach out. If you are someone who has not yet received your body graph and you're curious about all of this, you can look into setting up a destiny mapping session. And for all of us, may we really take this energy that can feel sometimes challenging to our body as we hold more and more light inside of us and soften into it and practice relaxing and releasing and being in ease and being in this space of, okay, I am safe, I am held, I am loved. I can look at all of this from a space of non-identification, from a space of truth, from a space of light, and I can hold it. I was born to hold this. I'm destined to hold this light. I'm Hamna. It has been a pleasure to share with you the weekly Power Divination. I will see you next Monday for next week's report. Have a beautiful, magical week, everyone. Much love.